Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Kirk here again from Option Alpha. It is Monday, October 24th. Just for the members video update, of course. Wanted to get some stuff out to you guys this weekend. It's going to be a pretty busy week for the markets. It's going to be one of the busiest weeks of earnings, which is undoubtedly going to shake the markets up a little bit. Earnings, for the most part, have been okay. They weren't as great as they've been in the past, and I think that's because now we're starting to compare earnings this year from earnings last year. And last year's earnings clearly beat 2009 and et cetera, et cetera. And so earnings this year have a bigger hurdle to get over, if you will. I think we've seen some surprising beats and some surprising misses, and I think it's going to continue. It's going to be every company out there just independently. So be careful with your positions as always. If you have any positions, make sure you know when earnings are coming out for that company. If it's pre-market, after-market, whatever. Just make sure you have a list of those going so you're not surprised. Right now, futures are slightly lower. Practically, they're even for the morning, and I think what a lot of investors had been hoping for is a solid plan coming out of Europe over the weekend, and pretty unrealistic that they would have a plan put together in a couple days. So, I think that uncertainty is killing the market as usual. Futures are probably going to be heading a little bit higher today. It's about 8 o'clock as at the time of this recording. But I would expect the market to slightly trade higher over the next couple of days, possibly, depending on where earnings go. It's still very overextended. I think the positions that we have are really good. The only position that we have that's fairly close is the SPY 131 call, which is okay. I think right now we'll just kind of wait and see where things go. If it starts getting really close, then obviously we'll look to roll it higher for the current month. But for the most part, all of our positions are looking very good. Our RUT call spread is very far away. The Russell has been slow to move, if you will. Here's a earnings company report by day, and you can see that we're in this area here, the 24th through the rest of the week, and we've got 55 today, 177 tomorrow, 198 the next day, 1 and 316 the following day. So again, very, very busy earnings for the market. If you actually look at where stocks are, and this is a chart of the S&P now, actually look at where stocks are. We did finally break above this area on Friday. Now, less volume, so less convincing, but nonetheless, it was a clean break above this resistance area that I drawn before. What's interesting is that actually, if you look at things like MACD, stochastics, even the acceleration and Bollinger Bands, we're getting towards the upper extension type areas. We're not breaking out and then really rounding out the bottoms here. So you can see even on MACD, some of the momentum has been slowly shifting out of the market over the last, call it a week and a half, really. And as the market moves higher, there's less momentum in the market, judged by these black bars right here. So momentum is being slowly sucked out of the market. This actually happened a time before, back over here in early part of June, where the market was heading higher here, and momentum was coming out of the market, you see, in the early part of June, and then the market started to roll over afterwards. So a little bit of a bearish divergence here. I think, like we have talked about before, and I'll just draw this line again, the next big line in the sand is going to be right here at about 1255 on the S&P. So we broke out of this resistance level, which was pretty formidable, but we have one right behind it that is going to be just as strong. And you can see we bounced off of that level a couple times, and that was where the market really broke hard back in the early part of August. So we have a lot of stuff to get through. For some of the other indexes, like the NASDAQ 100, we've definitely seen it. I mean, we've stayed in this top trading range. It hasn't seen the big drop that some of the others, like the Russell, have seen. And the NASDAQ 100 is actually approaching its recent highs for the year, so which is pretty interesting. Again, same thing that you see here on the NASDAQ 100 is declining momentum, kind of rounding top on MACD and some other things. We look at acceleration bands. They're already stretched to the top, and usually when they get stretched to the top, they start to pull back inside these band ranges. So again, worthy to note for the markets and where they're going. Some of the charts that I think are interesting right now. Gold, I think, is a very, very interesting. This is could be one of the better pennant or flag formations that you could see on a chart, and I'll just quickly draw it out here. But gold has moved down lower. It consolidated for the better part of a month, and now it's starting to break out lower again. So look for gold possibly to continue lower. It's up pre-market about 1%, but I wouldn't be surprised if it came down, at least touched the 200-day moving average as some sort of firm support to bounce off of from here. But gold is clearly in a pennant or flag formation that's going to continue down if this pattern continues to work out the way it should. For things like OIH, this is a really interesting chart for oil. Particularly OIH has been unbelievably obedient to these Fibonacci lines here in blue, and you can see that it's bounced between these lines numerous times. I mean, going back 2 or 3 years, it's bounced between these lines. More recently, bounced off of the Fibonacci retracement level down here, and that was the short-term support. Now it's coming right back up against it, and now it's holding as resistance. So pretty interesting. I'd expect oil to possibly at least head a little bit lower, either put in a higher low, probably around 100, a little bit lower than 100, maybe, or I'm sorry, 110, maybe 109, something around there. At least put in a lower or a higher low before it continues the trend higher. So that would be my expectation with oil. But again, our strikes are down here at 85, which is more than safe. DIA, we have our put at 90. Again, more than safe on that position. SPY, again, you can see our positions at 131, so we're getting a little bit close. It's definitely moved right at our position, no backing off, but we still have a lot of room. We're inside 25 days now for expiration, which is going to be good for time decay to really speed this up. But if we start to get really, really close, then of course we'll roll it higher. For the RUT, our call spread at 800, oh, this expired last month, so that's good. Our call spread at 810 actually hasn't even been getting close at all. Most people have been emailing, is 810 getting close? And not really. The Russell has been fairly weak in breaking out. All the other major indexes have broken out above their highs. The Russell still has some room to go, which is good. So our 810, 815 call spread is looking very good. We'll probably look to enter a call spread on the Russell to the downside later on, either tomorrow or Wednesday. I'd like to enter a call spread on the downside, probably around 525 or so, just to see if we can't kind of constrain and build a position in both directions around the Russell. I think this is going to be a really good opportunity for November for our portfolio. So I hope this video was good and helping just kind of give you guys an update. Those are the kind of things I'm looking at. All put spreads right now. I think the VIX has moved higher, which has been good, even though the market's moved higher. Which most people don't really associate, but the VIX is volatility. So it's volatility before fear, and we've had a lot of volatility, hence the move higher in the VIX. I think that it's going to be good on the put side for the rest of the month. That's what I'm looking for, so I hope you guys have those on your radar as well. But I'll send another update out tomorrow morning, hopefully with another trade on the Russell.